going to talk about AERIES report card grades. So as we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Monica Daniel, and I'm a new EdTech specialist with CNI, and I'm happy to help be a part of the team. And this is just my contact information. If there's anything I can help you with, you can email or call me, as well as we now have afternoon EdTech hours from 2 to 3, which I need to add to that. For today's norms, we're going to just remind ourselves that we're going to try to stay muted. Please use the chat, be patient, and be positive. For today's BCSD core priorities, we are focused on priority 1, a culture of collective efficacy, knowing that we are all in this together and want to build our capacity to be the best that we can for our students and our families. Our BCSD mission and vision. Our vision is to be a model of educational excellence, equity, and innovation. And our mission is to educate all students to the highest levels of academic excellence. So today's learning intention is that we will learn how to communicate student achievements with our families, as well as our success criteria will be, we will know we are successful when we can send a completed student report card to families using Parent Square. Entering grades directly into AERIES report cards for K-2. So that's the first part that we're going to start with right now. So our report card this year looks like this. So you'll have the student, teacher, school site, grade level information at the top. You'll see that they now have proficiency levels 1 through 4. So that will be available with all your subjects, as well as your social emotional behavior indicators that are available for K through 1. If you look below, you'll notice that each subject or category is listed in dark gray, and you will be entering into trimester 1. So these squares that are below number 1 under each category is where your grades will be entered. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate and sign in to our AERIES account. Once we log into AERIES, we're going to select Pages, which would be on the left side of your screen. From there, you'll scroll down and select Standards-Based Grades. Once you select Standard-Based Grades, this window will appear, and this is where you'll be able to start entering the student's grade per subject, per student, and we'll walk through that after I show you how it looks in AERIES. So again, we're going to select Pages, then we're going to select Standard-Based Grades, and then your report card will appear. From there, you will then be able to enter that 1 through 4 for each area, as well as maybe high frequency words, reading level. We know that at this time we might not have a reading level, so we're recommending that you approximate if you have any data to support that, or at this time just leave it blank for trimester 1. As in kinder, they have they have like letter names, letter sounds. It's a little bit different. And the high frequency words just based on the list that you are working off of. Once you've entered the grades per subject at the bottom, you will have the area to enter social emotional priorities. So those will be listed at the bottom, and you will have the drop-down arrow that gives you 3 options: consistently demonstrates, sometimes demonstrates, or rarely demonstrates. So again, based on your experience with the students this first trimester, you'd be able to select one of these 3 areas for all of the social emotional priorities. At the very bottom, you can see that we have added the grading guidebook, which is a great resource that will give you more in-depth explanation as to your 1 through 4, as well as your social emotional priority options. From there, you also have a way to communicate through comments with parents. So right under the student information, the student name, you will see an area that says comments. So in comments, that's where you can actually type in some specific examples or information related to each student. There are some populated comments below, but they are very minimal, but you may use those as well. But it is a chance to be able to speak with, type in, not speak, enter in some information that might be specific to each student. Ray, if you could share that link one more time, thank you. And again, we refer back to the guiding rubric, which gives you some suggestion for report card comments as well. From there, you would then after you've entered, say we have student number 1, we have Alex, and we've entered in all his standard grades, and we've entered in all his social emotional information, and we've entered in the comments, you can then select a student and select view missing marks. So the missing marks will show you everything that might be missing for every student. So I will show you that as I pop into AERIES, but that's the very last thing you would do. After you've done each report card for each student, you can select missing marks, and you'd be able to see any area through all your student report cards that might be missing. So before I have you try it, I'm gonna go into AERIES and model what we just went through. I'm gonna select AERIES, and this is a training site, but it will mirror what your report card looks like. So now that I'm logged into AERIES, I'm gonna select Pages, which it automatically opens up to, but I wanted to point out that we go over to Pages, we scroll down, and we're gonna wanna select Standard-Based Grades. From there, this is my report card. So now I have my report card, and I'm gonna walk you through some of the options before I ask you to try it out. So the first thing I want you to notice is right under the teacher at the top, it will list all, well, sorry about that. It will list all my students. From there, you can see the comment area, which I can then type in any comment that I want to be specific for my students. Below the comment area, you will see the pre-generated, which there are only currently 4. So cooperative, on task, pleasure to have in class, and conference scheduled. So those are the only 4 options of pre-generated information. Once you scroll down, you can now see all the subjects and categories that you're able to enter a grade for, as well as the social emotional priorities down at the bottom. So when I select this drop-down arrow, it then gives me the 1 through 4. 4 is exceeds expectations, meets, 3 is meets expectations, 2 approaching, and 1 not meeting. So here I can select my, I want to say grade, but you're entering their mark, their grade per subject. And then once you are done, there is no save button, but know that AERIES does save everything you do in here. So if you're looking for a save, there is no save button. Just know that it does stay in AERIES. So say I have completed all their marks. So I would go down to social emotional, comment, and student. So if I'm wanting to double check if I'm completed, I can do view missing marks. And now you can see that I've only played with 1 student and only entered a few of those grades. So it will list all my students here. The only thing it does not show in this area is the comments. So it does not show me if I entered comments or I didn't enter comments, but it will show you if maybe I forgot to do social studies. So maybe on Monday you went through and did math, ELA, and science, and then the next day you were going to do some other subject. This is just another way to verify if you selected all of them. So if you're in this window and you're like, wait, how do I get back to my individual student? You would select view by student. And then you would be back to inputting grades and information per student. So I would then select another student and continue down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on to number 2, where we're going to talk about saving our report cards as PDFs, because we're going to want to do that to be able to share them in Parent Square. So the first thing you're going to want to do is scroll back to your student report card, and we're going to do this individually per student. So when I say print, that doesn't mean that you're actually going to have to print these report cards and have them mailed out or do anything that way. When I refer to print, I'm asking that it then prompts you to be able to download that report card so that you can then save. So the first thing we're going to do is select print. Your next window will appear that gives you a little download report versus view report, and we're going to download the report. At that point, many computers may ask you to save it and rename it. So we do recommend that you then rename it as your student name and then save it. Each report card that you download will automatically be in your downloaded folder. However, once you rename it, you may place it anywhere on your computer that is easy access for you. Once you've done that, we would then recommend that you create a Google folder in your drive. So the first thing we would do is go to our Google Drive, create a folder by selecting new and then selecting folder, recommending that you then name it trimester 1, 2021 report card, then select create. Now, once you have your report card folder, you would then double click it and you would then be able to have a drop down of items that you can do. But we recommend you select share. Once you select share, you're going to want to change your permission settings. So automatically permissions are restricted, meaning they are only yours. So you're going to want to change that to anyone with the link can view. That way, when you share that link later in Parent Square, a parent can click on it and see the report card. Once you've created the folder in your Google Drive, you would then go and upload all the report cards that you downloaded. So because say you have 30 students, you printed and downloaded all of those report cards, and now you're going to upload and put them into your drive so that they're easy access for you to share in Parent Square. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing we would do is go to our drive. And I'm going to select new folder. I'm going to name it trimester 1, 2021 report cards and select create. Kendra is asking, that wouldn't give them access to everything in the folder, not just their individual file. So no, Kendra, what we're going to do is in the folder, we're creating it to share the access to anyone with a link. And that just creates the overall sharing rights for every file you put in there. So when you actually share with the parent, you would open the trimester and find the particular link to that student. So if I'm looking for Johnny, I'm not going to give him the folder rights. I'm going to give him just the one file. So before we move on to the next piece, I did create the folder. So again, the way I did that was new folder, and I created it here. And now I have this folder ready for my PDF. So if I right click here or double click, I can then hit that share icon. And you can see that it's automatically restricted. So I want to make sure that anything I put in here, I can share individual links that anyone can access, because not all of our parents may have a BCSD account. So I'm going to select BCSD and I'm going to change that to anyone with the link. And I'm going to leave it as view. Again, it's a PDF, so that's okay. I'm going to select done. So I'm going to do that one more time. Once I've created the folder, I can then click on it and select share. And right now you can see that it says anyone on the internet with this link can view. Again, if it is restricted, you would select it and change it. So we want anyone with the link can view. So going back to our AERIES account, I can see Jacob's report card is right here. If I'm wanting to then download it as a PDF and save it, I would select print, remembering that we are not printing them. We are just clicking this so that we can download. Select print, print in corresponding language, then print. And I do get this new window that appears and it says download report. So this is where when I select download reports, my computer automatically downloads it to the bottom of my computer. Others may pop up a window and ask you to save it to your desktop or in your downloads. Either way, everything you download will always be located in your download. So if I open the report that was just downloaded, we can see Jacob's report card is currently blank because I did not add anything to it. Now I can do download and I can say Jacob. I'm going to save it to my desktop and hit save. The last step I would have to do is then import it into my folder. So if I open my folder, right click, upload file. I can then find Jacob and import it here. And now I have Jacob's. So once I have all my students here, if I'm sending Jacob's parents his report card, I would select this PDF, right-hand click, and copy link. Right here, and I would use that. And I will show you that in our next step as to how we share this in Parent Square. So the last piece we're going to talk about is sharing in Parent Square. So we've entered our grades, we've saved the grades, the report cards in our Google Drive, and now we're going to talk about how we would then share that shareable link in Parent Square. So the first thing you're going to do is actually log in to Parent Square. You would then select Messages. From Messages, you would select New Message. Here is where you then would enter the student or parent name that you're wanting to message. So you can see down at the bottom, it would have the student name. Once you select the student name, it populates the parent or guardian name into the recipient box. Here below, you would then enter in your message. And this is where we're asking you to share your link with the parent. So once they click on it from their desktop or cell phone device or tablet device, it would then open and they can view. They can also then print it if they would like. So to be able to send that message, you're going to have to retrieve your shareable link for each report card for each family. So you'll do individual message to each parent that has a different link. We're not going to share the overall folder link. You're going to share the student report card link. So the way you would do that is finding that particular student's report card in your folder and selecting it by right click or two finger click, and you would get the get link. You would then copy that link. Again, this is another way to double check that anyone with the link can view. From there, you would select copy and you would go back to Parent Square and paste the link. Here's where you paste it and then you can send your message. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Parent Square. So here I am signed in to Parent Square. I am in Casa Loma. And I'm going to go down to messages. So on the left side of my screen, I go down to messages. I select new message. Here's where I can enter. I don't have students, so I am going to enter in a name that I do know. And it will appear. If your parent is an active Parent Square user, their name will appear. Below, I can then enter a message. Please review student report card below. So again, first, I can't send this because I do not have my link. I need to go back to my Google Drive. And I do have Jacob's report card. So I am in, just to show you a little bit, I'm going to go back to this drive. I am in the folder that we created for trimester 1. So I'm double clicking here. I see that I'm messaging Jacob's parents. I'm going to right click or two finger click and get the link. A new window will appear and it is showing me that anyone with the link can view this file. So I'm going to go ahead and select copy. And now I can share Jacob's report card with his family. I go back to my Parent Square message that is ready and I right click and paste. So now this will be viewable to Jacob's family and I can select send. As you can see, it will give me the day and time that I sent the report card. And for the parent, it is a clickable link that they can click and open. And it is a PDF that they cannot manipulate or edit in any way. So again, from here, they can then print it or save it if they'd like. Timing is going by so quickly. We have 4 minutes. So that is how you would share within Parent Square. So please know if you're looking for a parent or student in Parent Square and they are not appearing in that private message, that is because they are not active users. So you do need parents to be actively using Parent Square to actually receive a private message from you. So from here, I wanted to just revisit our learning intention and our success criteria. Did we learn how to communicate student achievement with families? We did go through a process of inputting grades in AERIES. So hopefully that is helpful in getting that information to our families, as well as as for our success criteria, can we send a completed report to families in Parent Square? We did go through the steps. However, I will be here again tomorrow, as well as these sessions are being recorded, so I can continue to support that. I did want to point out some of the resources we attached in the presentation. We do have the grading guidebook, which has an abundant amount of information, as well as the rubric guidance with the more in-depth information regarding the 4-3-2-1 in terms of grading, as well as the parent-teacher conference schedule that was shared from the district. Below that, I have shared scheduling parent conference signups. So the short video on how to set those up for your parents is in this presentation as well as this link is specific to Parent Square support for teachers on the DFP. Here I did input what I saw last week from my daughter's teacher and what it looks like on the parent end. So on the parent end, they do see the message that is given from the teacher, and they select sign up. There is nowhere for them to enter their name. Once they hit sign up, they get this pop-up window that allows them to enter a short message. Then they select save, and that is it. So we are recommending that if you tell the parents in the message to indicate translation is needed, they can input that as soon as they select sign up, and they can input that as an optional suggestion or need for them. From there, this is information to contact any of us if you have any need for support in anything that we can help with in terms of programs and tech and Google and Zoom and everything that's going on in our world right now. If you have a few minutes, I know it's time to go. Thank you, Ray. Ray did drop in the evaluation in the chat. If you have a few minutes before you go to give us some feedback, it'd be much appreciated. And again, thank you for joining us. Again, these will be, they are being recorded and will be available next week on the DFP, as well as we'll be going over this information tomorrow and 2 times next week as well.